Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. We have the latest roadmap update with even more features coming to Alpha 3.23. There was a rather rocky stability test for that patch in EVOCATI, but we can actually talk about that, and it is kind of par for the course. We've got the latest sub updates, new flare, CIG rewards some testers and are looking for questions on master modes. There's also a server meshing and jump point test planned for Friday. Let's start with the roadmap roundup with even more additions coming to Alpha 3.23. Image upscaling, implementing support for GPU upscaling, including DLSS, FSR, and in-house TSR solution. I love some of this tech because it allows for seemingly higher frame rates at higher resolutions. I was expecting this to come part of the Vulkan package, which may be deployed with 3.23 as well, but we'll have to wait and see. But things like this that are general standard graphics options for games coming into Star Citizen is a good sign, because that means I can play Star Citizen at high res with high frame rates, and it's more scalable for more people. Volumetric cloud updates, updating Star Citizen's volumetric cloud technology to improve overall visual quality, including the addition of both volumetric shadows as well as the implementation of ground fog. I'm hoping this also means that we'll see clouds that are a bit fuzzy and weird looking sometimes, or have sort of artifacting with them, get fixed as well. So improvements to the volumetric cloud tech, awesome, great to see it. And I think that obviously places like Crusader Horizon are going to be the most affected by that potentially. Connected to this, I saw a thread. So can we admit that the progress tracker is dead? So the original poster here says, we are now on week 10 of the planning month and no progress tracker, on top of said tracker being broken for a significant chunk of last year. There's teams on there that haven't seen an update since Q2 of 2023. I continue to not understand, especially as the roadmap posts now just have a copy-pasted boilerplate, no progress tracker this week footer attached. Why CIG just won't admit that they're retiring the damn thing. CIG's Jacob Capella responded here. We're not retiring the progress tracker, as I've mentioned in a few comments, due to the reintegration of our Squadron 42 feature teams. Our team structure is changing significantly. You've already heard a few of these updates in our video content, and we want to make sure the progress tracker is accurate to what's being worked on and by whom. We could just extend the work from Q4 into 2024, but that wouldn't be representative of the work our developers are doing. In terms of specific teams not being updated, this is part of this process as well. Once Squadron hit feature complete status, we transitioned many of those teams last summer to strike teams, who are now focused on polishing the game. There are also quite a few of the teams on there that have been depreciated entirely, but we wanted to keep them on the roadmap for your reference. On top of all that, our long-term scheduling is undergoing significant changes. I even saw a few changes this morning. So, to preserve the roadmap's improving reliability, we're waiting until we get the green light from our production team so that we can publish our plan to the progress tracker. I know it's been a bit of a wait, but we're actively working on our progress tracker update, and we'll have it to you as soon as possible. Really good to hear that from CIG, because I do like looking at the progress tracker and the roadmap updates and all the other information that CIG put out, including the sort of monthly reports, all in context together, because it gives you a reasonable view of what's happening in the project. And when one of those sources is inaccurate or not being updated, it's a bit annoying. Interestingly as well, there, I've talked to some of the guys on one of the Squadron 42 strike teams. That was at the most recent Bar Citizen I attended. Yeah, and they're pretty happy with what's going on there and the polish that's going in from Squadron into the sister universe now and how fast that's moving. They are pretty energetic, let's say. Now, there was a Star Citizen Alpha 3.23 stability playtest recently. It was an EVOCATI playtest, so we can't share videos and visuals of that, and it was focusing almost entirely on stability. So, not a feature test. It was around 4 hours long. It was very crashy, it was unstable, it was buggy, and this is why EVOCATI exists. I saw people posting, oh, this is as bad as 3.18, it's another 3.18, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I will do a rabble sound like that, because it is a rabble sound. EVOCATI exists for a reason. The early EVOCATI test, a stability test for EVOCATI, is going to be incredibly rough. It is just going to be how long until you crash. Yeah, and CIG want to know that data, they want to work out what all the crashes are, and they want to iron that all out so that they then can put it into another EVOCATI phase of actually testing the features out. So CIG, they're going to be able to target those most egregious bugs, try again, move on to feature testing, and with things like TSR, FSR, and DLSS coming, and improving potentially my experience and frame rates in Star Citizen, I am quite excited. Also, CIG are adding additional EVOCATI members. I believe that's gonna have them sending out emails this Friday, so if you think you've been active and issue counselling and might get one, then check your emails then. Friday has CIG potentially trying an EVOCATI server meshing test with jump points between Pyro and Stanton. This is a huge step. Obviously, they've had a bit of a test before without those jump points being functional, but yeah, it's nice to see that sort of stuff in practice. Now, again, it's an EVOCATI test, and I don't think there's going to be much in the way of gameplay to those jump points yet, just literally connecting the systems, sort of auto-guiding you through, but we'll talk about how that all goes once we know more. There was some new March subscriber promotions. If you're an RSI subscriber, there's a few things that you're getting this month. So they've got a pewter tankard with clover motif as a flair item for Centurions. Emperators get that, and a C-54 SMG with a green Luckbringer paint job. There's also a tankard with a compass star and a Luckbringer LH86 pistol available in the sub-store. The sub-vehicles of the month are the Cyclone MT for Centurions, and for Emperators they also get the Mercury Starrunner. Mercury Starrunner is my favourite ship. It's very cool. You can also purchase those with some goodies as part of the sort of subscriber program. So if you're interested in those, grab them. But you can get all that sort of stuff in-game anyway, and that was how I would sort of recommend it. Now, Cloud Imperium basically saying, look, these flare items and these skins are part of Stellar Fortuna that's coming later this month, which is St. Patrick's Day in Star Citizen. There's loads of other little things you get with being a RSI sub, like access to the Jump Point magazine, which has some really cool stuff in it, deeper dives into a load of different development updates, and it might give you access to be able to purchase things like CitizenCon tickets early and stuff like that. That's one of the perks that I like about it. Very voluntary though. It's obviously not going to be suitable for some people, and if you don't want to give extra money to CIG, that's cool. You bought your ships, get everything else in game. Totally understand that. Test Universe Champions. So, CIG just gave a load of ships away to players that helped test 3.22, and they sort of do this every major patch cycle. So they've given awards like the Conspicuous Consumption Award. 3 players here that had the highest average salvage between all ship parts during open PTU phases received an Argo raft. There are sort of 10 of these categories with, again, top 3 players and each of them getting a ship. Great to see CIG encouraging and rewarding players testing the game. They don't necessarily specify exactly what they're going to reward, what are the categories, before they give out their awards though. So sometimes it's going to be relatively obvious, just testing a specific new feature, that's potentially get you an award. But yeah, I like the way they do it because people don't necessarily expect it, but they suddenly go, and you're rewarded with this. I'm like, oh, cool, thank you. CIG are looking for questions for Master Modes for their Star Citizen Live episode on Friday, 8th of March, 4 PM UTC on their Twitch channel. Get into that thread, ask some questions or upvote some questions you like. I'll put the link to that down below. The top questions at the moment are, can you explain in detail how quantum dampeners and quantum snares will work on ships in nav mode? Given that most of the concentration has been on how master modes work with combat-minded ships, how will master modes have a substantial effect on non-combat pilots and how ships operate in the verse? What are the chances of non-combat industrial ships getting away from attacks if you have to disable shields to run away, especially in regards to in atmosphere where no shield can fly fast? With the way that nav mode's been described, we will be able to stay in it and travel anywhere and everywhere, avoiding combat. What are the planned limitations of nav mode? Will missiles change with master modes to suit the new speeds and balance? What fixes will there be to overcome the current issues with fighters being able to sit outside the range of anti-fighter gunships like the Hammerhead and kill it with ease without even being shot? Great question. They've sort of explained that a couple of times, but it's important to talk about properly and where their balance is going with that. Will there be any changes to stealth mechanics in master modes? Why is there no UI and HUD update coming with master modes in 3.23? Some great questions there. Obviously, there are a load more. Upvote them. Put some new ones in. Test master modes in 3.22.1 now. You can test it in a Arena Commander and then give feedback as well. So that will help. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I am really interested to know, are you excited for DLSS, FSR, or TSR being implemented into 3.23? Do you think that's going to be great for your frame rates, make it more scalable? Do you think volumetric clouds are going to look significantly better in that patch as well? Are you an RSI subscriber, or don't you subscribe to that sort of stuff? Quite literally, I'm sort of interested to know where people are like, yeah, I really like the little bonuses you'll get, or no, it's expensive and it's stuff that I don't want for the game. Were you a test champion? Did you test 3.22 a load? Did you get any prizes there? Have you got any cool questions for master modes? Do you think the progress tracker is a useful tool to help follow development, or is it sort of too vague? And obviously at the moment it's too vague, but when it's working, when it's functional, when they're actively updating it, do you think it's a good tool? Whatever your thoughts or questions, I would love to hear from you in the comments below.
Let me set you a riddle. You have a fox, a chicken, and a sack of corn, and you have to transport them from one side of the river to the other using a rowing boat. You can only carry one of these with you back and or forth. You can't leave the chicken and the fox together. That's mad. Nor can the chicken be left with the grain, nor all three together without you. How do you do it? With nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Turn that bad boy on and just set your location to the other side of the river. Done. Not only do you have all your wares, but also you can get around regional content blocks, have your data encrypted for more security. It's easy to toggle on and off. It's non-invasive. It helps you with other riddles as well. If a sphinx is asking you, what goes on 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, and 3 legs in the evening? NordVPN, get it now from the links below. Every month we have a giveaway for a ship, and for March we are giving away an Argo raft with persistent hangars, freight elevators, and hauling missions coming with Alpha 3.23. What better way to experience that type of gameplay than with your own hauler? All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of our videos made during the month. A single comment per video counts, so get involved with watching all my videos for more chances to win. There's more details in the description. Also, I won't ask you to contact me on Telegram or anything like that. This is my only YouTube account I will use to talk in my comments as well. Occasionally there are scammers about. I don't want people to get tricked. A massive thank you to everyone that supports the channel, be that liking videos, commenting on them, sharing them. There are also people that go the extra mile. These are amazing people that become Patreons or use the join button under my YouTube videos to become channel members. You'll occasionally get some exclusive content, Discord roles, and behind the scenes posts. It's those people with those memberships that allow us to make the daily Star Citizen content that we do. So please consider joining those awesome folks as well. Thank you for watching until the very end. It is genuinely appreciated, and I hope you have a great March.